I feel like it's got to go this way.
Okay.
I mean, this way just looks...
Most of them, you know, they hate us because by and large, Americans don't have to wake up, you know, scared of what's going to happen that day, or, you know, afraid for their safety, or, you know, wonder if there's going to be a rocket mortar that comes in from someplace. You know, we live in a blanket of security that we take for granted, you know, especially in the Middle East. That makes a lot of people angry, I think. Say hi to the camera because you're on video right now.
Hi, camera.
Hi, Madison.
Been in 25 years as of March 21st, 1994. March 21st, 94. You know, I do basically cryptology, specialization in electronic intelligence, 3 different ships for about 14 years, you know, going on different deployments and all that stuff all around the world. Probably 39 countries. So it's been a pretty good experience. You know, when I first came in the Navy, it was you know, booze, women, and tattoos. You know, so one of the first things, as soon as we got out of boot camp and we're in Pensacola at school, you know, me and some buddies, I mean, that's one of the first things we did is go over there and get tattoos. You know, we were dumb about it then, you know, 18, 19 years old or whatever, just go over there, oh yeah, you know, pocketbook limited, like, I only got $60, what can I get for that? And he's like, you can get one of these. I have one here, which is my first one, but, you know, it's been since covered up, thankfully. And I didn't really get any tattoos after that for like 20 years. Some styles of tattoos, for example, the tribe on my back, yeah, they don't stand the test of time, where, you know, the traditional stuff does. So your nautical stars, you know, kind of guide your way. The swallows indicated 5,000 miles of, you know, travel in a sail ship. You know, now we do 25,000 at least per deployment. Homeward Bound, you know, which is no better feeling when you get to that mark and you're on deployment and you've been gone for 6 months, or in one case we did an 8-month deployment, you know, away from your family, friends, and all of a sudden they say, hey, you guys are turning around, you're heading back. So that Homeward Bound, you know, that's not just a statement. That was like something that was pretty good.
Got here Friday, started on his arm, and then now it's Sunday. Wait, today's Monday. I don't even fucking know. I've been tattooing on this guy for 3 fucking days. He did all of these in just like such a short amount of time. So that's kind of it's a lot to handle. What do you think, Dan? Pretty good?
I like it, man. I love them.
Came out good?
Yeah. The girls, you know, that's all part of the port visits. This one kind of symbolizes that pretty well, and it kind of says, you know, booze, women, and, you know, partying, the music and all that. Sailor beware. That's, you know, there was several times in port visits where that was definitely something we had to beware of. And a lot of people don't know, but in the old sailing days, you know, if a ship went down from cannon fire, the last things that were floating in the water still were wooden crates with chickens or pigs in them because they were wooden. And so sailors kind of like, oh, you know, it was almost like a superstition. If I put a pig or a rooster on me, then I'm not going to drown either. And that's kind of where it came up. And that location is on the top of the feet, which I'm not real excited about. Maybe I'll have somebody with a lighter hand or something, I don't know. You know, Sailor Jerry was at Norman Collins, I think. You know, his inspiration was all Pacific, what we call Pacific theater, you know, Asian influence, you know, a lot of that stuff, like his dragons, his tigers, you know, and, you know, some of us in the Navy, we switch coast to coast, you know, might end up in Norfolk, Virginia or something, but I've always been in the Pacific. So all those places that inspired him and his artwork, you know, I've been to a lot of those places, like Hong Kong several times, you know, Macau Island, and, you know, Indonesia, and, you know, Kuala Lumpur, and Japan. In all government facilities, you know, it goes from unclassified, confidential, secret, top secret, you know, so cryptologists. In the Navy, we deal with some of the most classified work that's being done in the Navy. So here pretty soon I'm going to Pacific Fleet headquarters in Hawaii, which, you know, I'm going to be in the same basement, the same intelligence center basement where they developed some of the plans for Battle of Midway, where those officers worked, you know, 60, 70 years ago. I think the one thing that, that I know and that we look at is Chinese expansionism. And, it makes the media every now and then, but, some of our media sources kind of glaze over the issue. But, there's information out there on stuff called the Belt and Road Initiative that China's embarking upon. It's a multi-trillion-dollar effort. You talk about the expansionism in the South China Sea on islands that they're, laying claim to at an alarming rate. There's potentials there to block off trade routes, which 70% of our maritime trade goes through that South China Sea. And what happens when China owns that water, because they got all these inhabited islands there. So there's a lot of future implications there that I don't think, none of that's classified. You can go in there and read, about how they're in the Spratly Islands and stuff like that. And, they're destroying coral reefs to put concrete runways and stuff like that. That's all out there. But I don't think it's getting the attention and the concern from the international community like it should. Some people out here in the United States, they kind of say, oh, you get some military discount, that's bullshit. Or, there's even some people that say screw the military and, what they do for us. But, I think when you're standing on the pier with some of those guys, or, standing at an airport and, they're saying goodbye to family members for 6, 8 months, missing birthdays, graduations, Christmases, the Navy don't care about any of that. Going home is a good feeling. Stepping on U.S. soil and seeing the American flag, every single time it gives you like chills up the back of your neck, because you haven't seen that in months. We're being gone for 8 months on a deployment, and when you come back into the harbor, in your dress whites after you've been gone, you got Hooters girls welcoming you on yachts and waving the American flag. In some cases, other than what's on the ship, that's the first time you see that waving on U.S. land, U.S. soil. To me, that means a lot more. And a lot of the youth and the citizens are not going to experience that, and it's kind of a shame.
I'm gonna be all caffeined out, tattooing him, shaking like a sailor. As long as I'm shaking and he's shaking,
and your little needle is shaking,
it'll be the same.
Vibrating all together.
Yeah.
One speed.
It'll come out straight. I'm not good at spelling though, so he's gonna have cross his fingers on that one.